Today, we are going to start with our very new module, that is workflows and approvals in the system team. One of the most important modules in the entire HCM product area, and also one of the most used module in every project that you are going to work. By default, every client will use this at any cost. There is no doubt about this. So from the point of interviews, if you ask me, or from the point of real-time working, once you join the organization, once you start working in the companies, this will be mandatory concept that every one of us should know. This will be mandatory concept everyone should be knowing about. What is this module is about, team? Nothing but workflows and approvals in the system. What is this module is about? Workflows and approvals in the system. So what is this module of workflows and approvals, team? See, this workflows and approvals module will be linked with all the existing modules in the system. What is that, team? This workflows and approvals module is linked with all the existing modules in the system, team. Okay. What I mean here, team. See, in Fusion system, for every configuration that we do, for every transaction that we do in the system, okay, in Fusion application, every configuration or every transaction that we do in the system, we can trigger that via approval. We can trigger that via approval. Means what, Kumar, here? Approval means what? Let's talk about our core HR module, team. Okay, we all familiar with this module by this time, right? Or absence module. Any module for that matter, you take it as an example. In core HR module, we have several configurations to do. We have configurations like location creation, division creation, legal entity, department creation, grade, job, position, right? And we have several transactions that which we discussed, from HR self-service, from manager self-service, from employee self-service, right? So every configuration that we do in the system, or every transaction that we do in the system, if you want to trigger it for an approval, we have the module called workflows and approvals in the system, team. So my client telling me in core HR module, we all familiar with this transaction, team. Hire an employee. How example I'm taking this, we all know in core HR module how HRs in the company will be hiring the new employees in the system. This is the task name. This is the task name we have. Hire an employee. Correct, team. Hire an employee. So what my client telling, Kumar, in my system, in my company, whenever any HR performing this transaction, Kumar, whenever they hiring an employee in the system, it should trigger for an approval to concerned manager of that HR, right? Then only the transaction should complete. In our training period, whenever I was explaining you core HR module, every transaction when I explained you, I covered how to hire an employee, how to add a contingent worker, how to add a pending worker, non-worker, then add assignment, end assignment, transfer, global transfer, termination, reverse termination, correcting the person details, going to area of responsibility, adding up the document of records. Many transactions we have seen, correct? Every transaction we can set up a workflow. Who performing that transaction, to whom the approval should trigger. Here my client telling me, Kumar, in my system, whenever any HR performs hiring of a new employee, the moment he click on submit button, the record should not create immediately. That transaction should trigger for approval, Kumar. Or whenever HR performing transfer in the system to any employee, it should go for concerned employee's manager approval. Or Kumar, whenever employee correcting any details of himself under me, then it should go to his manager approval. Or Kumar, whenever any document uploading by the employee in his document of record area, it should go to concerned HR manager for approval. Or in absence module team. Okay. The leave management module we have in the system, right? So my client telling me, Kumar, in absence module, whenever an employee apply any leave in the system, it should go to concerned manager for approval. Or in talent module, or in OTL module, or in benefits module, or in recruiting module, or in learning module. Any module in the system you take, team. In every module, we have the configurations and we have the transactions. So as per the client requirement, we can set up the workflow whenever a particular transaction performed by someone in the system to whom it should go for approval, right team? If I set up this flow, for example, for hire an employee, we set up a flow. Like whenever HR perform this, it should go for concerned manager for approval. When HR go to hire an employee, given all the details, finally click on submit button, immediately system will not show the employee record when we go to person management team. The transaction will trigger for approval to the manager. If the manager approves that, then only he or she will be receiving the record in the system team. So this is workflows and approvals module. So this is an integrated module with all the other modules in the system. It's a common point which connects all the other modules team. In core HR, in absence, in talent, in payroll or in benefits, across every module team, we have this module applicability. But Kumar, for every transaction, for every configuration in the real-time projects, client will expect the approvals. No team. They won't expect. Okay. They will let us know. So as part of our requirement gathering in the project, when we collecting the requirement from the client, from workflows and approvals module point of view also, we will collect the requirement from the client. We will check with them. Hey, see, in core HR, these are transactions we have. In absence, we have these transaction. In talent, we have these transaction. Let us know for which all transactions you are expecting a workflow where the manager approvals are needed for completing this transaction. Because team, for every transaction, they will not ask us to enable this flow. It will take lot of time for their business to handle. For every transaction, if someone need to approve, the entire process will become slow, right? So they will have selectively chosen team. In each module, they will choose selectively. These transactions are very important where the higher management decisions are needed. Such list they will provide to us from each module. During that time, we will also check with them for the conditions also. Okay, now you're expecting hire an employee transaction whenever HR perform, it should go for approval. What is the rule or the condition in which scenario this transaction should trigger for approval? So within workflows and approvals team, we have rules or conditions for every transaction, and we have the list of approvers to whom the transaction should trigger. As part of requirement gathering, we have to collect this from the client. In which all scenarios the transaction should trigger for approval, there will be a rule or condition team. So that rule and condition detail we have to collect from the client. Then if that condition satisfies, to whom the approval should trigger, the list of approver to whom the approval should trigger. These two details we have to collect from the client for every transaction in the system team. Now I will tell you one of the rule, and we will try to configure that in the system, and we will practically execute the results, and we will see how the approval is triggering to the concerned party team. See, in workflows and approvals, I want to introduce to you two people. in the module of workflows and approval, we have two participants majorly involved, two important people. Okay, who is that? Number one is a requestor. Number two is worker. So we have concept like requestor and worker. First, you people should know what is the difference between requestor and worker in the system. A requester in approvals module is nothing but a person who performing the respective task, a person who initiating that respective task in the system. For example, you take myself, I'm Kumar. Let's example you take team. Kumar is the person who is working as a HR executive in the client company. Okay. Now Kumar is a HR executive. So today Kumar performing hire an employee transaction team. So today some recruitment happened, people got selected, their records Kumar trying to create. So Kumar, once he log in, he will go to my client group, new person. Okay, okay, okay. And then team will be going to new person and he will be performing this task, right? So requester is nothing but the person who performing the respective task. The person who performing the respective task is called as requester. In our example today, Kumar performing hire an employee transaction in the system. So whose record Kumar creating team? The worker. Worker is nothing but person on whom the transaction is being made or performed. Okay. What is that team? Person on whom the transaction is being performed or made. For example, I have Venkat in the system. Today, Kumar hiring Mr. Venkat in the system team. So company hiring Mr. Venkat. Interviews happened, Venkat got selected. So here in this transaction now, Kumar is requester, Venkat is the worker. Clear na? Here, whenever this transaction is happening today, Kumar is the requester to the transaction, the person who performing that task. On whom the transaction is being made, Kumar hiring Mr. Venkat record in the system. So Venkat is called as worker. Kumar is called as requester. So understanding these two differences is a basic fundamental in workflows and approval module team. So who is requester and who is worker for that particular transaction to be performing? That is very important. Okay. Now Kumar hiring Mr. Venkat record in the system. But here also, what is my client criteria for this transaction? For every people, they are not expecting approval. For every people in the system, when HR hire, they don't want approval. My client have a specific criteria. What is that, Kumar? My client telling me, Kumar, if at all an employee hiring in, okay, if and the rule or the condition in our workflows and approvals will be established based upon team, if and then condition. If the logic we will have, if this condition satisfies, then to whom the approval should trigger. If this condition satisfies, then whom the approval should trigger. So between if and then clause, the rule will be written in. So here my client telling me, Kumar, if worker hiring in India legal entity, legal employer. Okay. Whenever HR hiring an employee in the system, if at all that worker hiring in India legal entity and that too, if worker hiring in North Business Unit, and the two, if worker hiring in Tata Sales Department, and the two, if worker hiring in Hyderabad or Chennai locations. So while we hiring an employee, all these attributable information we will capture, correct? In which legal employer we are hiring, in which business unit we are hiring, in which department we are hiring, in which location. See team, the rule or condition is based upon all these parameters. Legal employer, business unit, department, location, team. So whenever Kumar today hiring the record, Mr. Venkat record in the system, if Venkat hiring in all these criteria, then only the approval will trigger. Other than this combination, if anyone hiring in the system, approval will not trigger. System will automatically complete the transaction team. See, during our training period, whenever I used to explain you this hire an employee transactions or every other thing team, I used to bypass all the rules in our module of workflows and approval because it should not waste my time. In demo instances, many of my previous students will be practicing these all topics. For every transaction, if I enable approvals team, it will trigger to the concerned person. Again, I have to log in from that user. I have to approve or reject like that team. So I kept everything in bypassed. But the reality is in real time, if this module is enabled, every transaction you can set up the conditions team in which cases, in which scenario the transaction should trigger for approval, in which cases it should not trigger like that team. Now this is my client requirement, the rule or condition. So as part of requirement gathering, for every transaction, we will collect the requirement from the client and they will provide to us. Always the rule or the condition will be based upon worker or requester details team. Only two people involved. Person who performing the task, that is requester, person on whom the task is being made, nothing but worker. So here my current requirement is worker based team. If at all work, because here we will perform, right? For example, now I'm a HR team, I'm Kumar. If I go to new person and if I'm going to hire an employee here, right? I'll give the details, no? The legal employer information I will give. Then when I go to employment info, business unit details I will give, department details I will give, location details I will give. Now when I click on submit button, system will understand, no, these conditions are satisfying. In which legal employer, business unit, department, location. The moment HR click on submit button, the transaction will trigger to the approval team. So if you configure the rule with this logic, okay, with this logic team. So here the rule or condition always will be based upon worker parameters or requester parameters. So currently I am choosing based upon worker. I want system should check worker details whenever hiring happening in the system. Right team? So if these conditions are satisfied, then okay, to whom the approval should trigger, with whom the approval should trigger team. So here also we have different list of approvers available team. So here what my client telling team, my client telling me here, Kumar, the approval should trigger to first level manager team, first level manager team. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So here in my current requirement, if these conditions are satisfied, then it should go to first level to workers manager. See, whenever today Kumar performing hire an employee task, Venkat details Kumar giving here, Kumar hiring Mr. Venkat team. While hiring, in the third tab, we will also capture the manager details of this employee, right? So today I'm hiring Mr. Venkat in the system team. I'm Kumar. So whenever I'm hiring Venkat, in the third tab, I will give manager details right at assignment level. So my client expecting Kumar in my company whenever hire an employee task happened. If these conditions are satisfied, Kumar, then first the approval should go to worker manager. Let's say I'm giving Mr. Rajesh as a manager while hiring Mr. Venkat record. So as soon as I click on submit button here, record will not create immediately team. The moment I click on submit, this transaction will trigger for an approval to Mr. Rajesh in the system. So once Rajesh login into the system, here team, the managers or the HRs will be receiving the approvals in the bell icon here. There is a bell symbol here, right? So every day notifications they will receive here. This is our workflows and approvals module topic. So Rajesh will receive the notification here that Venkat is hiring in the system by Kumar. So approve, reject buttons will be there. He can take the necessary action. That we will see next team. Then we can set up multi-layer approvals also. First level, second level, third level, like that also you can set up team. So what my client telling, Kumar, two levels approvals I want in the system for this transaction. First level, it should go to workers manager. That is Venkat manager, Mr. Rajesh. Once Rajesh approves that Kumar, it should go to second level for HR's manager. HR is Kumar, the requestar team. So Kumar's manager currently in the system is Lavanya, let's say. So to second level, Lavanya. So first level, if he approves, then it will go to second level. First level, if we reject, it will stop here team. It won't trigger for second level. So workflows and approvals, the concept or the architecture will be like this team. So what is the transaction that you want to configure? Check out the rules or conditions, then to whom the approval should go. So here we have a lot of approver hierarchies to use team. Sending to worker or requester manager is one type of using the approvers in the list here. But here we have the approval sending based upon the representative, based upon the role, based upon positions, based upon users. We have different other categories to use team that eventually we will see when we configuring this topic in the system. Okay. But the workflows and approval module is about this. Example, as we all are familiar with hire an employee task, I have taken this and I am demonstrating this topic. But it could be for any transaction team. Hiring an employee, transferring, global transferring, adding an assignment, then correcting the details, updating the details, changing the manager, terminating the employee, right? Document of records adding, area of responsibility adding, then applying of leave, then doing the disbursements, cash disbursement or donation or in benefits module or in talent or in recruiting, all the configurations or the transactions team, we can set up the approvals in the system. So we as a consultant, we have to be clear with our client requirement team. First, we will prepare the list. Array in each module, what all transactions they want approvals to enable. First, core HR. Okay, in core HR, we have bunch of transactions to perform, but not for everything client will expect. Client will give us particular list here, like for these 10 transactions, Kumar, or for these 15 transactions, Kumar. Then absence module for these two transactions. Then in talent module or payroll module, these transactions, Kumar. So accordingly, we have to configure team. Once the list is finalized in each module, then we will check with the client for each transaction or the configuration. What is the rule or condition? Okay, for whom you are expecting the approval to be triggering, on which cases, then client will give us this scenarios team, the criteria or the conditions for that particular transaction to perform. Then the list of approver also, to whom it should trigger, how many levels it should trigger, these all things we have to set up team. So this is about introduction to the module of workflows and approvals team.